All right, guys. So you're starting to see a little bit of this is going to be a log today about a regular training day during this cut. I'm 8 weeks out, 8.9 weeks, almost nine. So 8 weeks out. This is my downstairs where I do the fasted cardio. As you can see, I have a Juve panel over here, a red light panel, which I use to do red light while I do my fasted cardio. I do it on the bike. I figured out exactly how much resistance I need to do steady state cardio and keep that the beats per minute between 115, 122, somewhere in there in that zone two for me. So I'm gonna do 20 to 25 minutes. I do this every single day early in the morning, and you can't see it because it's off screen. But there's a TV here. I just put on a podcast or something that I want to watch or learn about, and I just watch that and just get on the bike, as you'll see in a minute. So that's the first step every morning. After take the supplements and all that, do the daily fasted cardio, keep that heart healthy. All right, here we go. What's this? Let's keep doing this. 20, 25 minutes. Put my feet over here. Today I'm learning about men's physique. Get familiar with the sport if I'm going to participate in it. What are the big guys? What are the big dogs? How does it work? Every single detail. I tend to dive in almost very single-mindedly into it's that ADHD brain. It helps me to dive into stuff. Very deeply and very quickly. So I've been absorbing all the data I can regarding the sport and all that placement. Yes, starting to follow some of the pros, get some ideas, and have the logs or journals, and learn everything I can. And so we'll do this for 20 to 25 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next stage of the training day. So, yep, keep that heart up. 20, 25 minutes, zone two. Let's get it done. Today, super simple, my favorite, and I tend to repeat these over and over and over. Liquid egg whites, make myself an omelet, talking mushrooms, according to my coach. I do not count these against my carbs, so that's great to fluff things up, give them some flavors, for those egg whites that are kind of plain. 15 grams cheddar, just to again give it some more flavor. And the secret weapon for a lot of these things when we cook, the secret weapon is Adobo Goya. If you're Puerto Rican, you know that this is the bomb right here for all your proteins, be they eggs, fish, chicken, just about anything. This is a great all-around rub, no calorie, good flavor. So we're going to take these delicious, beautiful mushrooms. We're going to cut them up, clean them up. First, we're going to saute them, put them to the side. Then we'll throw in our egg whites. Then that way we measure how much weight there is on the mushrooms once they're cooked. So that when I add them to the cooked egg whites, I know exactly how much of the egg whites to track, because I do need to track that. So there we go. Let's see how this goes. I'll show you the finished product in a few. Let's see. And there you have it. It's a very delicious omelet. This is like the little flaky stuff that came off the top. I actually like it. It's almost like a rice paper texture from the egg whites. But in there, you can see all the little bits and pieces of the mushroom. It's delicious. And doesn't come out to a lot. 160 grams of egg whites and 15 grams of cheese, 45 grams of mushroom to protein. There you go. Meal number one going down. Guys, for this next video, and now we're talking meal prep. Since it's Sunday, again, regular workout day and so on. But I'm going to share with you the secret of how to have chicken breasts and create chicken tenders or anything with the chicken breast that actually is juicy and flavorful and tasteful, and you will not hate life through contest prep as you eat your chicken breast, because it will actually taste delicious, especially if you cut it up and then use it with I personally my hack is getting 0-calorie hot sauces and or spices to add, change it up, cut it into basically tenderloins or strips, if you will. And then you just, once you have it cooked, you can just warm it up, throw some of that hot sauce on there, boom, good to go. And you can make a whole bunch. So I'm going to make today, this is a 5-pound package of chicken breast. It's already skinless, boneless, ready to go. What we're going to do, we're going to boil in this pot. I'm going to show you real quick. We're going to go ahead and boil maybe half full in this case, since I have about 5 pounds. This will vary depending on how much chicken you're going to prepare. But in this case, the secret is the brine. And what is the brine? The brine is basically kosher salt. In this case, about a quarter of a cup, right about there, quarter of a cup kosher salt. Bring that to a boil, then adding your flavors, your aromatics. In this case, rosemary from our garden. I throw that in there. So we're going to have it here. I would have extra aromatics. This is a half teaspoon measure. They usually do half to a full
teaspoon of, throw some garlic in there. There we go. Throw some, in this case, lemon pepper. I like 8 pepper. It doesn't have to be lemon pepper. This one just, it seems to be handy. So lemon pepper. This one I will put in definitely at least one, maybe 1.5 teaspoons, just to give it a little bit of flavor. Paprika, definitely put that in there. Again, gives it not just flavor, but it actually helps with the color of the chicken. It makes it kind of like dress it. I feel like it makes it look better. Half a teaspoon is enough even without strong. Onion powder, same thing. Onion powder, you probably need only half a teaspoon should be enough, just to give it like a little bit of a flavor enhancement boost. There we go. And then the last thing is ground thyme. Ground thyme, you want to half because again, it's very strong. So just half a teaspoon. All right, you throw all of that in there. Now you bring this to a boil, stir it all up. And what you're gonna do this brine is once you bring it to a boil, you're gonna let it cool off completely. Go back to room temperature, and this is where you're going to put your chicken for at least 3 to 4 hours to brine. And then after that, you'll have to play around with it depending on your flavor, taste, and so on. But 3 to 4 hours, I feel, is like the minimum for the chicken to like soak in there. Another hack, if you can, which I love this. Wow, and we put it all the way in the back of the fridge as far as possible. Believe it or not. Throw in a few pickles, a little bit of pickle juice, a little bit, few pickles, boom. Let all of that boil. Once it comes to a boil, take it off the heat, set it to the side. Once it's at room temperature, you can then put your chicken in it and put the whole thing in the fridge. And you want to refrigerate, obviously, while it's marinating, while it's brining. I guess it's technically what it is. So again, kosher sea salt, garlic powder, lemon pepper, paprika, onion powder, rosemary, in this case fresh, and then ground thyme. That's the basic recipe. You can play around with the aromatics. But the idea, the most important thing here is the sea salt. The sea salt is what's going to like give that flavor, a little bit of like that flavor to because chicken breast tastes like basically nothing. Another trick too, to make sure that it's tender, you can always take the chicken breast and lightly tenderize it with a meat mallet. You can always like lay it out, pound it a few times, just a little bit though, not too much, because if you pound it too much, then it breaks the fibers and it breaks apart and it's terrible. So just a little bit gently. Again, you'll have to play with it until you figure it out. But that gives it an extra degree of tenderness. Do that before you put it in the brine. Let it sit in the brine 3 to 4 hours. And after that, air fry. You air fry your chicken breast after you cut into the pieces you like. 13 minutes per side at 375 degrees. And you're going to have an amazing experience that you can then use whatever sauce you like. And it'll be completely versatile. You can dress it up with other sauces. You can throw it in with rice. You can do whatever you want with that chicken because it will actually have flavor in and of its own. So I hope that tip helps you. Catch you later in the day. All right, guys. We're at my gym at Empt over in Birmingham, Alabama. Here we go. Let's go get swole. Let's go get some things done this afternoon. Here we go. Warm up.
And now, what I normally do early in the morning, daily walk 2.5 miles to get those steps in. Wasn't able to do that today. Too much going on. But in any case, now it's the afternoon. It's pleasant. Weighted vest. Let's go. It's another part of the training process. So here we go. All right. So we just got back from our walk. Meal number 3, technically. Not really, but a bunch of fruit just to get some good carbs in there, after the workout, after the walk. Replenish, replenish, replenish. So meal number 3, ton of fruit. All right. Let's see how the rest of the day goes. How do we wrap it up? We shall see. All right, cool. So now we're going back to the chicken. So this is what we do. We take the chicken, chop it up into tenderloin pieces like so. We put it on our air fryer pan. As you can see, once we do all that with our chicken, we have one more breath to go through here. The rest is always kind of a pan that took us to get on board. Turn a little bit of the fat off. If there is a little bit of fat, because we don't need any of that. There you go. Again, chop it into tenderloins, basically with chunks, however you want. Technically, you could just do you could do probably the whole chicken breast. You might need to adjust to your time. Again, it's 375 degrees in the air fryer, under air fry, 13 to 14 minutes per side. You got to flip it. But then after you do this, just a moment, take your chicken. It's a lot easier this way. Put it on the air fryer pan. In my case, yet again, I'm going to be all Puerto Rican. Adobo seasoning, won't be coming without it. Sprinkle generously chicken. This will give it additional flavor at 0 caloric cost. And now, if you're ready, pop that chicken in here. Set 13 minutes. Air fry like so. 375, 13 minutes per side. And total final cheat code. This is what you're going to end up with, basically. So there you go. That's the recipe for the chicken. Hope that helped. And last dinner or food for today, meal number 4, it is 2 of these delicious sweet potatoes. These are frozen sweet potatoes. You throw these in the air fryer, a little bit of salt, sugar-free ketchup, air fryer sweet potato fries. They're little cubes, so they actually crisp even better. And then on top of that, for our protein, we have, I think it's like 10 ounces total. I already ate some of it. Of this chicken with a delicious 0-calorie sauce. This chicken right here. This came off the air fryer. So simple, easy, repeatable. And the cool thing is, like, you keep changing the sauces, you never get bored. So there you go. That's an example of a whole day of eating and training. And hopefully you found this somewhat interesting. If it helps you, gives you ideas. If nothing else, you can get a really good chicken brine recipe. So this is Gonzo from Rice 41. Hope that was informative, and catch you on the next video. Have a great day.